Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and I'm going to be reading a Kuroo Tetsurou ex-female tsundere listener. So, yeah, this is part 4 in the Kiss series. This one is titled Cherry Kiss, and I have a Tsukushima, Sugawara, and a Hinata one already up on my channel, so if you guys are interested in hearing those ones, you can definitely go ahead and watch those. The Tsukushima one is definitely one of my favorites, but that's just because I love Tsukushima. But, yeah, this is, I've been kind of waiting to do a Kuroo one because I know how much you guys love Kuroo. Personally, for me, I don't like him that much, but that's just my own personal preference. I feel like I would want to be his best friend, but this is getting off tangent here. Anyways, let's get right on to the video because that was kind of a long intro. Kuroo, can you stop staring at my sister like she's a piece of meat? Sorry, Kenma, but when I see a fine beauty like that, I just have to. With a volleyball pressed between his forearm and hip, Nekoma's raven-haired setter glared with his eagle eyes at the unsuspecting young girl hurling volleyballs towards the gym. That girl was you, Nekoma's newest manager, who had happened to be Kenma's twin sister, younger by 4 minutes. You stood in your sweats, your hair framing your face perfectly, with vivid eyes that could pierce through anything. The ember-eyed setter growled at his friend. Well, I'm not going to let you take her as one of your stupid conquests like those other girls. Oh, sorry, Kenma. She'd be different. I'd never do that to first name. You'd never do what to me? The sudden interruption caught the boys' attention, making them turn to you. The sound of your name passing through Kuroo's lips sent a jolt of electricity through your body, even across the room. You just had to know why your all-time crush would utter your name. Kuroo was just saying that he'd never lay a hand on you because you were my sister. Right, Kuroo? Huh? But what if Hwan really likes me? How could I possibly turn her down? His toned arm made its way to you, behind you, around your shoulders. Besides, knowing that you'd hate it just makes the challenge even more fun. Kuroo, your twin growled. You deadpan, removing his hand and pinched between your thumb and index finger in disgust. Oh please, as if I've ever fallen for a playboy like you, Kuroo. Go find some other idiot girl to have a fling with. But really, you just wanted nothing more than to be the girl he'd have all of his time dedicated to, even if it wasn't gonna last. Fine, I guess I will. I'm sure Ima-chan won't mind playing with me later tonight. She's much more womanly, with all her curves anyways. A trembling hand gripped the sides of your sweatshirt. You were plenty womanly, and your curves had most. If not all the guys staring at you when you walked in the halls, but the rigid fabric of your tracksuit hard to let them show. Would Kuroo really not have any interest in you if you weren't a bodylicious babe, or like an E-cup Emma or F-cup Fuyumi? Was that really the kind of guy you'd fallen for? You spun around on your heels and ran back inside of the gym to the other side, roughly throwing balls at your teammates, mumbling about what a disgusting jerk Kuroo was. She said disgusting jerk, sighed as he watched your fleeting figure. You really think she took me seriously? She's a girl, Kuroo. You know how they can be sensitive. And if you ever tease my sister like that again, I'm going to make sure you never get the ball again. Right, sorry. Don't apologize to me. It's first name that you hurt. Time skip. Stupid Kuroo and his stupid girlfriends. Why does he have to be such an asshole? You flopped around your bed as you mentally cursed your crush for his stupidity. Practically the only time you ever got to spend time with him was practice and the random times he'd come over with Kenma. In all the conversations he held with you, he was either talking about volleyball, his weekly conquests, or how boyish you acted despite your feminine appeal. Not once had he ever asked you how your day had been or complimented you on a new haircut. Even a normal, shallow conversation was too much to ask for, since it always ended up with him asking you something stupid like, "How's the weather down there?" with a satisfied smirk on his face. You couldn't help it that you were short. You couldn't help it that you were short. It runs in your family. Not to mention that Kuroo was already a giant, so just standing next to him was enough to make you feel puny. Why can he see you as more than just the team manager and Kenma's sister? Why does he have to tease you all the time? Why does he always have to talk about other girls in front of you? No girls like listening to the story of romantic midnight flings with other girls, whether it be the guy they like or not. But you did, and you just had to be one of the biggest ladies. And he just had to be the biggest lady man you've ever met. How could you have fallen for a guy like that when he thought that he was beyond you? Your heart had made its decision and you couldn't let go. Luckily, tomorrow's practice was cancelled, so you wouldn't have to face him again. Instead, you'd catch up on some manager work that had been building up since Kuroo had its last practice match with Nekoma. It was going to be a long day. Time skip. Ugh, where is she? She's late. With teeth grinding and foot tapping on the floor impatiently, a bedhead metal blocker stood leaning against the school gate in wait for a certain person. I know she has work to do, but it shouldn't take her this long. Maybe I should check on her. Kuroo ruffled his messy charcoal locks in frustration. No, I'm gonna stay here. If I look for her, won't that make me look desperate? She's probably in the bathroom or something, he said, hopelessly trying to convince himself. Did you see those two in the hallway? They're so close. The sound of a female voice caught his attention. Despite it, he was greatly disappointed when he saw it wasn't you. Only two random girls gossiping about meaningless thing. I know, he even copied on her. Do you think it was a confession? Or maybe. I don't know, but if a guy confessed to me like that, I'd say yes no matter who it was. It wasn't so meaningless after all. The two girls walked off, kya-ing, I don't know how to do that, sorry, in unison, as thoughts rushed to Kuroo's mind. Was the girl they were talking about you? Would you say yes to a guy if he confessed to you like that? You weren't the girliest, but you sure as hell were cute, and it wouldn't even surprise him if guys had a crush on you. But to think that someone was actually doing that right now? Oh, Kuroo was not gonna have that. Not on his watch. Time skip. Ugh, finally I'm done. You yawned loudly, with your limbs stretched until you finally relaxed. You wiped small tears that threatened to fall from your eyes as you stood up and hastily collected your papers, eager to go home and get studying done. As you walked past the window to the door, you noticed a similar figure standing outside. It was Kuroo. But why was he waiting there? You grimaced at the thought of him meeting another girl as it crossed your mind. Not wanting to confirm your suspicions on the chance that you were right, you decided to make the best of it and get your shoes and make an escape through the back of the school. Sure, you'd have to jump the fence, but that was the way your heart felt. It seemed like a small price to pay to get home to your half-eaten tub of strawberry ice cream faster. You made your way to the school's front entrance as you tried to hype yourself up. Okay, all I have to do is get my shoes from my locker and leave through the back door near the gym. Easy enough. Sorry, Chan, I have something to tell you. You stopped dead in your tracks. Something was telling you that you shouldn't go out there right now. Hiding behind a nearby pillar, you quietly watched the scene in front of you play out. Okay, what did you want to say? Well, I've been meaning to tell you this for a long time, and I finally gathered up the courage. Oh my god. Were you watching a confession take place? Never in a million years would you have imagined you'd see a confession happen right before your very eyes. You knew you should give them their privacy, but you couldn't tear away. It was like a once-in-a-high-school opportunity chance. Alright. What is it, Takeru-kun? Here goes. In a flash, the boy's arm had risen to the height of the girl's head, caging her in. She shrunk a bit from his sudden actions, now blushing furiously. You, too, had a pink tint to your cheeks as you clammed your hands over your mouth to make sure you wouldn't make a sound. Sayori, I like you a lot. Please, be my girlfriend. Takeru, Shh, just let me kiss you first. Now, the ever so daring boy suddenly moved closer to the girl he held captive in his arms. You could barely contain your screaming as her rosy face disappeared behind his head. You moved but something moved you out of the corner. Well, something moved out from the corner of your eye. Takuru, get your filthy hands off of her. Oh no, who is it? A flash of black and beige crossed your line of sight. Before anyone knew it, the poor boy named Takuru was lying on the ground, almost horizontally, with a hand pulling him up by the back of the shirt. His blushing love interest now standing tensed against the wall in utter confusion. Quite rightly, fear. The perpetrator loomed over the two until an angry look of confusion crossed his face. But you're not. He quickly was cut off by the sound of cackling coming from a seemingly animated pillar. Kuroo, what are you doing? YN? But I thought. He looked down at the petrified levers he had torn apart. Shit. He let his victim go and then quickly scurried off with his tail between his legs. And they quickly scurried off with the tail between their legs. You're such an idiot. A faint blush crept up to the captain's cheeks. Shut up. I just thought he was confessing to you. A few minutes passed until your cramp-induced fit of laughter died down. Oh, really? And why is it so bad if someone asked me out? Because... He paused, trying to think of a believable reason, other than the fact that he wanted to be the one to confess to you. You're Kenma's little sister, and he'd never forgive me if I let another guy near you. Besides, I only get to play with you like that, he cooed. Right. You deadpanned at the sound of his words. It might not be a confession, but at least he wasn't going to let anyone else have you, even if he was kidding. Anyways, I have a lot of studying to do, so I better go home. He waltzed over to the lockers and slipped your shoes on. Kuroo eyed you carefully, drinking the last soothing sight of your smooth legs, as the hem of your skirt slowly inched higher. Well then, why don't you study at my place tonight? He quickly followed behind you as he left the school without a word. It's pretty close by, and I'm sure we'd have a lot of fun. You're such a creep. You looked away in disgust, actually trying to hide the growing blush on your cheeks. What? I just meant having fun as in studying. I wouldn't be a good senpai if I let my adorable little Koshi or Kohai out of in her time of need. Just before Kuroo slung a heavy arm around your shoulders and pulled you in. Well, just as before, Kuroo slung his heavy arm across your shoulders and pulled you in. Boy, was he even more handsome up close. And he couldn't help but notice how cute you looked when you were blushing, or how perfectly you fit in his arms. It took you a second to snap out of it, but you finally pushed him away and composed yourself. Thanks for the offer, but I'm pretty sure Kenma wouldn't approve of me being alone with a player like you. What do you mean? We've hung out alone plenty of times. And where is Kenma today? Usually he'd walk you home. He went into town today to buy a new game that came out. I told him he didn't have to wait for me since I'd take a while. Ah, okay. He said, nodding his head up and down as if he achieved the true meaning of unagi. The complete and true unagi. Well, then I feel obliged to walk you home in your brother's place. You rolled your eyes at his self-righteous behavior. You really don't have to do that, Kuroo. I know, but I want to. His words sounded gentler than usual, sending an arrow straight through your heart and a hot blush to your cheeks. You quickly averted your eyes and began walking. Do whatever you want. Alright then. The two of you walked together in a comfortable silence until you felt something on your head. Your hand rose and placed itself on the wet spot in your hair. What the? Rain? As if on some command, heavy rain started to pour on your unfortunate souls. Without a second to lose, Kuroo had grabbed your hand and began leading you to God knows where. Where are we going? You'll see. Time skip. I hate you. What? It's not my fault that I always get what I want. You eyed your captain angrily as you stood in the entrance of his house, shivering and soaked to the bone. You planned this, didn't you? I have no idea what you're talking about, he said as he led you upstairs to his empty home. And don't worry, my parents are on a business trip, so you won't get any weird questions. I think being alone with you actually makes me more worried, Kuroo, you thought. Great. Obediently following him like a lost puppy, you walked into his room. A few posters there some clothes scattered here and there. That was pretty normal for a teenage boy, especially for a womanizer like Kuroo. Too deep in your thoughts, you hadn't noticed him leave your side, only to come back with a towel and a change of clothes in hands. Here, go dry off and put these on. Your onyx-haired crush had moved the fabrics into your arms and spun you around. The bathroom's down the hall, to the right. Then he shut the door. You stood for a second, blinking in confusion until your shivers had caught up to you. You quickly found the bathroom and shut the door, ready to pry the icy clothes from your skin, with a towel now wrapped around you, and you bask in its fluffy warmth. Enchanted by the fresh laundry scent that it held, then you realized you had something that belonged to Kuroo right in front of you. Finally dry, you slipped onto the shirt and shorts that he had lent you just minutes before. In an instant, you were immersed in a similar scent that you had only known to be Kuroo's. It was as if he was holding you in his arms again, this time without any jokes or ulterior motives. Sadly, you were drawn out of fantasy when your phone began to buzz. You sighed heavily and picked it up, eyes scanning the information. New text from Kenma-ni-chan. Message: where are you, YN? I just got home and you're not here. From YN. Reply: I just got caught out in the rain with Kuroo-senpai, so I'm waiting out in his house. From Kenma-ni-chan. Message: ... I'm coming to get you right now. Oh man, Kenma's gonna freak out when he gets here. Phone in hand, you gathered your things to make your way out and back to Kuroo's room. Hey Kuroo, just to be warned, Kenma's gonna... Barging in without warning, you walked in on him, half naked and shirtless. You felt like your cheeks were going to heat up and your legs began to turn to jelly as you ogled at his beautifully toned chest. You probably would have knocked, but thank God he didn't. Jeez, YN, ever heard of knocking? He teased as he slipped on a t-shirt. You hid your steaming face behind the wet pile of clothes in your hands. Shut up. Kuroo chuckled at your flustered form as he took the dripping bundle of clothes from your hand and began walking downstairs. You wait here. I'm gonna go dry these. Okay. You mumbled in a voice that was barely audible. Once again, you started twiddling your thumbs as you walked around, examining your crush's room. Some trophies, pictures of classmates and family, even some school certificates. As if he wasn't already perfect before, you definitely thought he was now. Handsome, smart, sweet, when he wanted to be, of course. Kuroo seemed like the whole package. Of course, he could pick any girl he wanted, and it was never gonna be you. Boo. Ah! You jumped at the sudden noise, back pressed against the wall, and hand over your heart. Damn it, Kuroo, what the hell? Sorry, I couldn't help it. You just look so unsuspecting, he gloated, grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Here, have a cherry as an apology. A cherry? You eyed the mysterious red fruit as you pulled a bag out and he presented you with it. Why a cherry? Because I love them and they're the only thing I have in my fridge. Do you not like cherries? It's not that I don't like them, it's just I've never had one before. Wide-eyed, Kuroo firmly grabbed your shoulders. What? You've never had a cherry? No, you mumbled, staring at the specks of eraser shavings and snack crumbs on the ground. Wow, I've never met anyone who hasn't had a cherry before. What kind of rock are you living under, YN? He strolled over to his bed and sat on its edge. Shut up. I've had cherry-flavored things, okay? Mimicking his actions, you sat on the edge slightly away from him. I just like other fruits more. Well, now's your chance to try one. Do I have to? Yes. Ugh, fine. Rolling your eyes again, you stared down at the crimson fruit and eventually took a bite. A small smile made its way onto your lips. This is pretty good. Ah. In an instant, you started choking on the cherry pit that laid hidden from view. Kuroo quickly came to your aid, rubbing the back of your head until you gained breath again. Ow. Why didn't you tell me there was a seed in there? I thought you already knew. How the hell would I know that? I've never had one before. I thought it was common knowledge that all fruits had seeds in the middle. Damn, he was right. But you weren't going to admit that in front of him, of all people. Instead, you shoved your hand back into the bag and pulled out another cherry, plopping it into your mouth, this time aware of its deadly seed. Kuroo stared at your soft, red lips, rounding the cherry's smooth sides, your pink tongue making a quick cameo before the fruit was hidden from those same plum lips. He bit his own in a response as he felt an urge to kiss them, to bite them, to make them his, just to... Hey, YN, do you want to play a game? Okay, what game? Tie a cherry stem into a knot with your tongue. I can actually do that, by the way, it's so cool. Anyways, you squinted at him like an idiot, which sometimes he was. How the hell is that a game? Because we get to compete to see who's a better kisser. The blush that was painted across his cheeks only made Kuroo's sly grin widen. He grabbed a cherry from the bag and swiftly dismembered it, spitting out the pit with ease. Well, first name? Care to take my challenge? He asked seductively, leaning in and shoving the stem in your face. You quickly pushed him away and stared anywhere but him. Why the hell would I want to play your stupid game? Because I want to prove that I'm a better kisser. I do have a lot more experience than you, you know. Just because you're some sort of man whore doesn't mean that you're a good kisser, Kuroo. Ouch, that hurt. He feigned a pain with his hand on his chest. But I'm sure you're just saying that because you know I'm right. Nuh-uh. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Then prove it, he said, presenting you with the stem once more. You glared at him, and then the stem. Finally, you gave in to your stubbornness and snatched it from his hand. Fine, then. I will. With another stem ready to go, your caramel-dyed crush sat up straight and brought the stem close. Ready? Go. In your mouth went the stem, swirling it in the stew of hot saliva. Ooh, that makes it sound really unappealing. Between your cheeks and tongue. After about 10 minutes of trying, your tongue started to tire and wondered if Kuroo felt the same way. You looked up to see a smug expression written all over his face, and for some reason it irked you. The newly added fuel to your fire brought a wave of determination not to lose, even if it was a pointless game that Kuroo had made up. A few seconds later, Kuroo stuck out his tongue with a neatly tied cherry stem on it. By the time you'd finished, he had already placed it on the table in victory. Told you I was a better kisser. No, you're not. You only won because you cheated. Oh, really? And how exactly did I cheat? You started before me. And besides, you've probably played this game before and practiced it. Cheater. Whatever. You're just upset because I'm better at you than it. Or, I'm better at it than you. No, you're not. You wanna bet? His deep voice sung close to your ears. Bet on what? Your first kiss. What? In an instant, Kuroo's lips had met yours for a passionate kiss. Biting and sucking, soft moans escaped from the small figure that shivered underneath his touch. With a hand behind your head and an arm wrapped around your waist, his onset of hickeys and tongue kisses continued for what seemed like forever, or at least what you wanted to be forever, until the two of you broke apart, gasping for air. Anxious to see your sweet, blushing face, Kuroo was baffled that when he saw tears down your flushed cheeks. I'm sorry, did you really not want that? You shook your head furiously, wiping the salty tears from your eyes. That's not it. I wanted it. I wanted it a lot, but I didn't want to get my hopes up in the end and end up like all those other girls you dated before. Wyatt. He pulled you close, your ear laid on his broad chest, his heart pounding faster with every second. You're never gonna end up like those girls. You're different from them. Oh yeah? Then what about curvy Emma-chan from the other day? Was she different too? I didn't meet with Emma-chan or anyone yesterday. Truthfully, I haven't gone out with anyone since I realized I liked you. Really? You asked, staring up at him with those hopeless puppy dog eyes. Then why'd you always talk about girls why did you always talk about the girls you were with all the time? Well, I guess I wanted to make you jealous? Scratching the back of his head, your newfound lover averted his eyes with the deep blush dusting across his cheeks. You couldn't help but let out a slight laugh. Kuroo, of all people, was getting embarrassed, and being this adorable was too much for you to handle. And the only way you felt to express yourself was through laughter. Wait, don't laugh at me. I just confessed to you. Aw, Kuroo, you're so cute. You still didn't answer my confession. Do you want to be my girlfriend or not? Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend. But if you ever so much as look at another girl, I'll make sure you regret the day you were born, he said sweetly, wrapping your arms around his torso. Don't worry, I won't be looking anywhere but you. And maybe your butt every once in a while. God, Kuroo. You rubbed the sore spot of your bottom that he just pinched while he slung an arm around you, pulling you down under him. Now that you're my girlfriend, you have to call me by my first name. His callous finger traced your tender lips, tapping them lightly before continuing. Now say it. Tetsurou. I hope I said that right. You mumbled in a fragile voice, one so sweet and pure that it sent a wave of adrenaline through Kuroo's body. You looked so vulnerable, the way you looked at him. You like a lost lamb. And he was the wolf. Once again, your lips met for another round of spit swapping. Ew, why did they call it that? Your hands tangled around his messy hair as you wrapped your legs around his thin waist. Damn, okay. His large, cold hands reached up into your shirt and caught you by surprise, making you jump at his touch once more. Ah, Tetsurou, don't... His ears were too focused on the way you called his name to listen to your plea. It's cold. Well, I'll warm you up right now. His long fingers traced the hem of your shorts until he finally... boom, boom, boom. Kuroo! The two of you were brought back into reality by the sound of banging from the downstairs. Kuroo, you better not be touching my sister. Boom, boom. That's the sound of, like, the bamming or whatever. Kuroo! The captain your twin was summoning, shrugged heavily as he sat up, running a hand through his raving locks. Right when I thought we were about to have some real fun. Kuroo, you growled unamused with his joke. I know. Now that he's here, I guess we're gonna have to tell him, huh? Yeah, well, good luck with that. You got up and ran to the bathroom to change before he could even protest. Damn, this is gonna be one long night. Time skip. Ah, Tetsu, don't. Kama's gonna catch us. You fidgeted in your new boyfriend's arms as he cornered you behind the school gym. It'll be fine. He just went to talk to the coach a few minutes ago. We have plenty of time before he gets back to ruin our fun. Oh, really? You both froze at the sound of his voice. Kuroo turned to see Nekama's ultimate setter, your twin brother, standing right before him with a scowl on his face. Without warning, Kenma had grabbed him by the back of the shirt and began dragging him back to practice. Kenma, don't be so rough with him. If he thinks he can touch my sister behind the back of the school, then he's got another thing coming. And it's not the ball. Jeez, I've never seen Kenma so emotional before, his teammate noted. Well, duh. You don't mess with the guy's sister. Kenma, the coach called. No taking personal grudges out on the court. Share the ball with everyone. He wore an ever so evident frown, but ultimately complied. Luckily, it was his turn to serve, and he knew exactly how he was going to share the ball. Your golden-haired twin threw the ball up in the air and hit it. Ow! Aiming right towards the back of Kuroo's head. Kenma, what the hell? You did that on purpose, the team captain yelled, with one hand on his head and the other clutching Kenma's shirt. I have no clue what you're talking about, his monotonous voice indifferently feigning ignorance of his crime. Kenma, Tetsurou, don't fight. You, along with the rest of the team and staff, tried to break up the two before escalating it any further. Boy, this was going to be one long year. That was a really long story. Way longer than the other ones. Holy fuck. It's almost 30 minutes long. Holy fuck, that was really long. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually liked that one a lot. Yeah, that was a great story. I actually really loved that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, that was surprisingly long, and I don't think I messed up too much, so that's good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Also, thank you guys so much for 180 subscribers. I think I have, or it's like almost 180, I'm pretty sure. Let me check, hold up. Oh, it is actually 180 now. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for 180 subscribers. That is insanity. I am so glad that you guys like my content this much, and I'll continue to post for you guys. By the way, my part 4 to my 10 Stages of Me and You Tsukushi Max Listener should be coming out sometime this week since I have plenty of time, but I also have to do my schoolwork, so yikes. but that's what it's like to be in AP classes because I chose them for some reason. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys like the video, make sure you like the video and comment down below some other characters you want me to read. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Goodbye.